What if I told you the most disturbing story ever written is actually in the Bible? Apocalypse, doomsday, the end of the world. It's a dark subject that many world religions have explored. In Christianity, the last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, contains a terrifying vision filled with catastrophic events. Demonic horsemen, strange creatures, and even multi-eyed, biblically accurate angels appear in this book. Without a doubt, it is the strangest and most disturbing book in the entire Bible. So naturally, it was something I had to cover on this channel. And it's not just strange, it's terrifying. You may have heard of the book of Revelation, but you might not know what actually happens inside it. For example, where does the number 666 fit into this story? If you want to learn more about the biblical apocalypse, you're in the right place. In this video, I've put together an introduction to the topic. Because when it comes to the apocalypse, you never really know when you might need this knowledge. Before we begin, I should make one small note. In this video, we'll approach the book of Revelation not as a religious sermon, but as a historical and symbolic text. Because this book seems to have been written more for interpretation than for literal reading. The creatures, numbers, and catastrophes within it were likely meant to carry metaphorical meanings rather than direct ones. So from time to time, we'll also look at how historians and biblical scholars have interpreted these symbols. The word apocalypse doesn't actually mean the end of the world in the way most people think. It comes from Greek and means an unveiling or a revealing, as if a hidden curtain is being pulled back. And that is exactly the purpose of the book of Revelation, to reveal what is hidden. But what it reveals is deeply unsettling. Stars falling from the sky, seas turning to blood, darkness swallowing the heavens, and strange beings covered in eyes disturbing to even imagine looking at. The story begins with visions experienced by a man named John. While exiled on the island of Patmos, he claims to hear a powerful voice behind him. When he turns around, he sees not an ordinary person, but a figure almost impossible to describe. Its eyes burn like fire, and a sharp sword extends from its mouth. Many believe this figure represents Jesus, but the real strangeness begins after that. John describes being taken up into heaven. Before him stands a massive throne, surrounded by creatures unlike anything the human mind could easily imagine. One has the face of a lion, another resembles an ox. One appears human, while another looks like a great eagle in flight. Yet all of them share one horrifying feature. They are covered in eyes. Eyes across their wings, their bodies everywhere. Like living watchtowers that never stop observing, then another figure appears, one resembling a lamb. But this is no ordinary lamb. It has 7 horns and 7 eyes. In its hands is a scroll sealed with 7 seals. And with every seal that is broken, the world descends further into chaos. With the first seal, a rider on a white horse appears. Then comes the rider on the red horse. After that, the black horse, and finally the pale horse of death. Together, these figures become known as the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, often interpreted as conquest, war, famine, and death. But Revelation does not stop there. Trumpets begin to sound across the heavens. The seas turn to blood. Massive swarms of monstrous locusts emerge. Creatures with human-like faces roam the earth. And eventually, the infamous number of the beast appears, 666. In that sense, the book of Revelation may not simply be a mystical story about the end of the world. It may also have been a hidden text of resistance written by people living in fear, because the era in which it was written was brutally dark. Early Christians faced persecution, torture, and execution. A text born in such an atmosphere was never going to feel peaceful. The dragons, beasts, and disasters described throughout the book may have reflected the fears of that time in symbolic form. Yet there is something important to remember. Revelation is not only about destruction. After the chaos and devastation, a new world emerges. A gigantic golden city called the New Jerusalem descends from heaven. There is no more death, no more suffering. The darkness is gone. So despite all its terrifying imagery, the story is not entirely hopeless. In fact, it suggests that after the greatest collapse, a new beginning can emerge. Maybe that is why people have continued returning to this book for centuries. Because the book of Revelation is not only about the end of the world, it is also about humanity's fear of the unknown. And perhaps beneath all the strange symbols, creatures, disasters, and numbers, one simple idea remains hidden. Humanity has always been less obsessed with how the world ends, and more obsessed with what, if anything, comes after the darkness.